electric anglers we have here. These guys have worked their way through 6 qualifying tournaments, plus having to finish 8th or better in the regional championships to make it. To win this tournament, the first prize, $100,000 cash out of a total purse of $250,000. Plus, as we mentioned earlier, that all-important prestige that comes with winning this tournament.
There he is.
I'm not going to go crazy and start running around doing other stuff. I'm going to stick with what got me here, and you know, if I'm going to win, that's the way it's going to be.
Can you repeat it?
Well, it looks like I'm probably going to have the best chance that there's been since the All-American to repeat, but it's hard to do. It's hard to win one, let alone two, but I'm going to go down swinging.
Well, we're going to take a little break from the FLW this week and bring you a truly one-of-a-kind event. It is the world-famous All-American, the working man's fishing tournament, the chance that the weekend warrior has at a shot at big-time bass fishing fame and fortune. We've really got a great grassroots event going on here. These guys fish anglers across the country in 22 divisions, a 5-tournament schedule. They try to make the top 30 in their division, then they move on to a 3-day regional tournament. If they can make the top 8 there, they're here at the All-American. Once again this year we're fishing here on Lake Hamilton in Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas, and we're down to the final 5 who'll fish for the championship today.
Jerry, I'm going to have a keeper my very first pitch of the tournament.
Well, your dad was telling me that you were saying that, and he was suggesting that you don't say that. That's
I'll have one very first play.
We've got Rodney Hartwick, the auto industry line worker from Indiana, Roger Fitzpatrick, the salesman from Missouri, David Truax, the quality control supervisor from South Texas. We've also got Paul Redwine, the construction worker from Tennessee, and unbelievably, Jeff Coble, who won this event last year. He's going to be doing everything within his power to be the first back-to-back winner in this tournament. But hey, all these guys are going to be fishing really, really hard. I mean, after all, it's the All-American.
This is, like I said last year, it's a lot easier to win this thing than it is to qualify. I mean, I've only made it 5 times since 1984, so it's pretty hard to get into.
This is probably one of the hottest little brush piles on the lake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, those folks in that home there probably sitting back, relaxed, eating breakfast, and here you are, right out in front, in the front yard, getting ready for the biggest day of your life.
Yeah, it's amazing, ain't it?
Your dad said, though, he said, "Oh, I wish he wouldn't have told you he was going to catch one on the first cast."
He told me not to tell you that, but I couldn't resist.
That's a lot of pressure, man. How deep is that brush pile?
Not very deep.
Is the one we're seeing there visually, the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's it right there.
That's it right there.
I'll be hitting it probably 5 or 6 times a day.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to get them out, but I look to get jerked right here.
Is that the only spot you've been able to catch them in that hole, or can you catch them out around
I can catch them all the way around it, but that's the hottest little hole.
Yeah, I bet that's the hottest place. I saw a bass just swim over. There's a concrete block holding it down, looks like.
Yeah.
I just saw a bass swim over the concrete block.
There's limits on it.
This is terrible. I kind of feel bad standing here bothering you.
Oh, you ain't bothering me.
I'm sure our viewing audience is saying, why don't that clunkhead get out of that boat and let that man alone? But it's a thrill for me to be out here and, oh, there we go. There's one. All right.
Let's get away from that brush pile. I'll take a limit out of it today before it's over.
See big ones in there?
Yeah, but this is probably the smallest I've taken out of it.
Uh-huh. That's all right.
I seen a school of 2 and 3 pounders on it yesterday, and I left them alone because I already had a big limit. Jerry, I lied to you. I told you the first flip. Was that the second or third
Well,
flip?
and hey, that was so close that I say you did what you said you were going to do.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Alpo. A great dog deserves a long life. A great dog deserves Alpo. By BF Goodrich. Take control. By Coleman, the outdoor recreation company. And by Conseco, meeting America's financial needs. Watching, of course, the All-American here from Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. We're on Lake Hamilton, just south of the city of Hot Springs, constructed on the Ouachita River.
I've started here, this will be my 3rd morning in a row that I've started here. We're sitting in 60 feet of water, and about right there, it comes up to about 25. And right on that drop is a brush pile, a big brush pile. And what I've got here, a perfect lineup position. That buoy right there in that dock with the slide off in the distance there is right on this brush pile. It's an easy spot, even though it's way out here in the middle.
The things that he was lining up on the boat dock and the buoy are in this direction right here. The ridge that he's talking about where the brush pile is sitting right in front of him. It's actually in pretty deep water. That's 18 or 20 feet deep. That's pretty deep to be fishing Lake Hamilton, and he's fishing it with Texas-rigged tubes, Texas-rigged lizards, and using something he obviously can get down there in that deep water pretty quick.
Be my first one.
Why was that a good place to put a brush pile?
Oh, man, the ridge was just so obvious. It had deep
about
water
13,
all
14
around
inches.
us. And as a matter of fact, it wasn't too far off the end of that point. It was a perfect place. I don't know how he found that.
Well, take a look at this spot right here. All that area, that is Jeff Coble country right there. He's got 5 or 6 brush piles in this area. He'll be fishing them all day long.
And actually, in the last 2 years, his early morning bite has never been good.
For me, it was last year and this year. The first day I didn't catch one till 9 o'clock, and yesterday I didn't catch one till 10 o'clock. But I might do fish a little bit different this morning. I can't do any worse by fishing a little differently than I've done in the last couple of days. I might fish on some of these high spots a little more shallow with a worm or a grub. I think that must be the way to catch them in the mornings. I think a lot of the other guys were catching them like that.
Jeff Coble's from the Carolina Division. Of course, Kerr Reservoir is his home lake. He was last year's All-American champ here, beating out a local, Keith Green, by only 5 ounces. Keith Green back again in the All-American this year, but he finished down the list 23rd. Jeff Coble, as we mentioned before, trying to become the first angler to repeat in the All-American.
And I was all ready to start talking about how Coble sits down all day long and we come right up on him and he is standing up. Have you ever seen that before?
Never have seen that. What you're talking about is the style, the technique used by so many of those good fishermen in that eastern North Carolina area, and it's just their trademark.
And he was not fishing his crankbait at that moment. That was why he wasn't sitting down. But we're back on the little ridge right here.
Yeah, Roger Fitzpatrick having a good start.
Yeah, and you know, these guys beat it 2 or 3 days of fishing. I don't care how good a brush pile is. You beat it up by fishing it and catching fish out of it. However, if there ever was one that might be a candidate to last all day long or all week long, this one may be because of its depth, I think.
we'll go on the bank and catch some bigger ones right away.
Right out from that rock, there's a point of grass that comes out. A creek on this side and the river comes on this side. They should be here. I didn't catch them here yesterday, but this is a tailor-made spot. This is where they should, this is where a tournament could be won.
The way he describes it, it really does sound good. We can actually sort of go underwater and take a look at what David Truex is talking about.
Well, and it is the perfect place. You got the Ouachita River, the main river coming through here, and boy, here comes in a little creek to the side, which always makes a great point. Now, David's going to be trying to fish this gray area, and he's trying to fish the grass around that point.
The bites are so subtle, they feel a lot like grass, so I do a lot of jerking to jerk the bait out of the grass, get it back wiggling, and sometimes it'll surprise you and it's a bass, so I do a lot of jerking.
Well, obviously he believes in that spot, but he didn't fish yesterday. He said didn't catch any fish out of it.
Yeah, and boy, here's the
There he is.
The place where you really need to have a good feel. You always need a good feel, but maybe even a little more right here, because number one, you're trying to feel the grass. Concentrate on getting that lure into the grass, and then feeling a fish jump on it when he pulls it away from the grass. So he's got two things going there. Fishing a crankbait, this is one that, it's not a homemade crankbait, but it's one that he painted himself.
Truex on the board, Fitzpatrick in the lead. We'll be right back. Welcome back at Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas, Lake Hamilton. We are here for the world-famous All-American, the working man's fishing tournament. Some big money involved, $100,000 to the winner. This is Paul Redwine.
Paul's throwing a topwater bait, a lot of spitting images, Zara spooks, a lot of flukes, a lot of plastic topwater baits are being used on these fish. And I'm telling you what, there are more there was a nice fish. It looked pretty good.
Paul Redwine from Crab Orchard, Tennessee.
There are more boat docks on this lake per mile.
That was a keeper now.
Than maybe any lake in the country, and so these guys do fish these docks an awfully lot. It provides a lot of cover because the residents put brush piles in around their docks, primarily to crappie fish, but we all know the bass love them too.
Well, here again is the gentleman you rode out with, Jerry, Rodney Hardwick from Indiana. Started out on the boat docks, and he's sticking with that plan.
Can you see why it'd be easy to lose one?
Yes, I can.
I got to get him out of that junk and then get him over these rails. This guy's really built this dock up full of brush. Oh, man. Man. Gosh, dog it. He was there. Watch yourself. He knocked it pretty good. This stuff's really thick.
Let's get back out on the lake. Meanwhile, our defending champion has been getting busy out there. Jeff Coble, North Carolina, has started to catch a few fish. He says his bite gets better and better as the day goes on, and today seems to be no exception. Let's take a look at what he's fishing.
And Jeff is not fishing his crankbait yet, but he is fishing brush piles that are out on the end of these little flat points all over that big area that we looked at a little bit ago. And of course, he just moved around from spot to spot. And these are brush piles that he hasn't found. These are brush piles that he's put in himself. As a matter of fact, him and his buddy David Wright, who was also a contender for this top five, Tommy, he and David come over to this area during Christmas time 2 years in a row now, and worked on placing brush piles in areas where they thought would be beneficial come this time of the year.
That didn't look like the crankbait there, Jerry.
No, he's not fishing a crankbait yet. He's fishing a, well, I know he fishes a jig an awful lot, and he's probably fishing a jig with some kind of a plastic body or plastic trailer on it. And his fish are probably in 12 to 15 feet deep.
I like to have 5 of those at the end of the day. You'd be a thread anyway.
Take a look at the leaderboard in a minute. I would imagine Jeff Coble has surpassed Roger Fitzpatrick here, who had some good success himself earlier on a brush pile. And as he threatened, he's moved to the shallow water.
Come on out of there, girl. You on there yet? Golly. Oh. Ah.
Well, unfortunately, that is just one in a string. He's been back in this cove for a good period of time. I guess it's just final day jitters, Jerry.
Boy, this is a shame, you know, because in a 10 or 15 minute span, you can win it or lose it.
Oh, man. There's a 4-pounder right there. Come on, girl. Oh, well. Easy come, easy go, I guess. She whopped it. My line jumped about that far when she hit it.
Back on Lake Hamilton, Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. It is the All-American. A quick look at our leaderboard right now. Jeff Coble, so far doing very well in his attempt to defend the championship. The leader with 3 pounds and 5 ounces right now. We're looking at David Truax, Beaumont, Texas. As we told you earlier, he's fishing right there in a confluence of a creek and the main river, the old Ouachita River, here in the lake.
Trying to fish around the grass. Make that crankbait.
Oh, no, that's a
Tick
little
the
fish.
top of the grass and actually hang
no,
up
it
into
may
it and then
keep.
pull off of it. And boy, when there's a fish around and
He will keep.
sees
Not
that
big, but
happen,
he'll keep.
inevitably he will jump on it.
Thank you, Lord, I'll take
it just
it.
can't
I
stand
can throw
that.
you back later.
I mentioned earlier he's painting those crankbaits. We'll talk some more about that a little bit later. Right now, let's take a look at Jeff Coble. This is his spot right there. Several brush piles that he's fishing in that one area of the lake. And boy, he's got another good one on.
And we talk about these brush piles out on the lakes, and I mentioned before that he's fishing brush piles. He's actually fished himself, and he is an expert at fishing brush piles.
Well, it's pretty typical of brush at home. You just catch one, or any kind of cover at home. You catch one on a stump or one on a rock or one on a brush, and you rarely will catch more than one. That's the reason we have a pretty big advantage, because we know so many places that we can keep running and gunning and putting together a good catch. We don't have to rely on sitting on one place and hoping the fish keep moving in. But on this lake, you would think, the way they school, that you would pull up on a brush and just could really catch them, you know, cast after cast. But I hadn't done that, just one or two. Two's the most I've caught out of any brush.
Does that surprise you that he doesn't catch more fish out of these good spots?
Well, you know, these brush piles tend to bunch up the fish, and I think the brush piles have more than one fish in them. They probably have a lot of fish in them. But it is kind of difficult at times to catch more than one at any one time. You know, he's circling. He's hitting this one and moving to this one and this one. So he lets one rest for a little bit. Another pretty good fish by
Well, that's the one he's looking for, isn't it?
Yeah. He lets them rest a little bit. But it is difficult to go to him and like catch 3 out of 1.
Jeff Coble, the leader right now, and boy, he's going to solidify that lead. Look at this nice one right here.
Hasn't caught one on a crankbait yet, at least not any of those good ones. That surprises me.
I'm ahead of schedule, limit at 10:30.
Got that one. Come out of there, girl. Oh, this is a big one. Come out of that brush. Come on. Oh, no. Come out of there. I ain't believing it.
This is starting to get hard to watch. David Fitzpatrick now has missed 6 fish in a row so far.
Boy, you work so hard. Think how hard these guys have worked all year long to get into this position, and he has really had his opportunities to win this thing or get a big lead, and right now he's just nowhere.
Well, we're up on it right now. It's a sandy knoll, and as soon as you drop off, starts dropping off at about 8 foot is where the grass will start, and it'll stop somewhere around 12 to 14, 11 to 14.
I'm seeing the drop now.
See, and they're starting to see a little bit of grass. Go ahead and hurry it up.
David Truax there, still throwing that crankbait. You know, most of these guys, or a lot of them, paint their lures. You know, that's not anything new.
Yeah.
You see it a lot on crankbaits, but I've seen them paint tube jigs and everything else.
Yeah, and you know, you have to wonder, is that really work, or is it just help your confidence? And of course, it really works if it helps your confidence.
Absolutely.
But I've always said that you could take a crankbait that was running real good, that you had confidence in,
and the 13-inch are about where they
paint
was
it
last.
pink if you wanted to, and you'd catch some fish on it.
13 3/4.
That's another keeper for Truax there.
Hope to return you soon.
So that's 3 fish for David, 3.5 pounds, but our leader still, Jeff Coble. The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by EverStart Batteries. More power for your money. By Kellogg's, the best to you each morning. By Mercury, the water calls. And by Pepsi Cola, joy of Pepsi. Lake Hamilton, Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. This is the All-American. Anglers across the country fish in their divisions all year long, trying to make it to the regional, make it to the top 8 in that regional, and come here to this prestigious tournament. This man did it right here, David Truax, Beaumont, Texas. And while we've been away, he has been on fire. He has completed his limit. He's within a pound of Jeff Coble.
And you know what he's doing? He's fishing. I'm pretty impressed. You know what? He's fishing a way that if you stay with it all day long, throw that crankbait, just keep throwing it and throwing it, find the exact depth to throw it, you're going to catch some fish. Sometimes you're not going to just catch them one right after the other like he's doing right here. This is pretty impressive. But if you keep doing it, you will get your strikes. And here's this, here's the painted lure.
That's right. That's what he was talking about.
You know what? It does have some resemblance color-wise to a big old bluegill, doesn't it?
A little pumpkin seed right there, but of course that's not a color that you can't find in the store. He just likes to do it himself, I think.
Again, I think that it has a lot to do with his confidence, and boy, he has got some confidence right now. You know what? If he lost that bait, he'd probably just go right down the tube, wouldn't he? You know, here's a fisherman,
will help me. I got
Tommy, that's just been, every time I looked around during the weigh-in, he was right on the edge of not making it to the next day, but he hung in there, and here he is.
Well, David, you had to spend a lot of time sitting in a boat up here on the stage yesterday, sitting on the bubble, waiting for somebody to knock you out of the top 5, and it never happened. It's got to be a lot more fun sitting out there on the lake today.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad to be here today. The pressure's off now. So.
Do you realize how antsy you were back there? We were sitting up in the stands, and he wore out a pair of sneakers and didn't even get out of his chair.
I don't know how he's got any knees left in his pants from crossing his legs back and forth. It's kind of nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Well, I wanted to make it so bad, and there I am on the bubble within 15 boats, you know, and I didn't think I would make it, and then everybody that came close was 2 ounces or 6 ounces back, and I'm going, oh. Now I can just relax and fish.
Well, you are actually purchasing white spinnerbaits, white crankbaits, and then coloring them and doctoring them up and you know, just doing it all yourself.
Yeah, I like to, it's just a hobby. I fish all the time, and I like to doctor them up. When you're out here fishing against everybody, if everybody's throwing the same thing, you know, sometimes just a little difference in your bait will make an edge. And
yeah, you know, I saw that bait in the boat this morning. I can imagine that would look like a colored up perch for sure, big old bluegill. Well, you're fishing it, or you're trying to keep your boat in 11 feet of water?
Yes, sir. My bites have been consistently at 11 foot the entire week.
Your crankbait's probably not going 11 foot deep, is it?
No, but the vegetation's probably coming anywhere from a foot to 4 foot off the bottom. And I'm ticking it through the grass and ripping it. And most of the bites have been right at 11 foot.
Talk about David Truax staying with what he's been doing all day long. So has Paul Redwine. He stayed with that topwater lure, and he's just had a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
he hasn't had any
lot
success.
Of Tommy, get to thinking about it. How many of all these tournaments we've ever done, how many of them have you ever seen that were won on a topwater bait?
Not too many.
You know, you get a lot of action with it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't throw it, but doggone it, just seems like you have lots of problems hooking and catching bigger fish particularly.
Well, I just cannot hit this one. I'm gonna have to just throw in the towel on it, I guess. I gotta be close enough to it that if there's a fish in it, I would have caught one anyway. Oh, there it is. There he is too. Oh, me. If that's a bass, that's a good one right there. And now he's kind of coming. Oh, me, it is. It is, it is, it is. Another 2 pounder. Well, the crankbait did finally catch one. Decent. He was just barely catching him, though. He caught the net better than he did anything. That's all it takes.
All right, a little surge again for Jeff Coble. He is in the lead, 8 pounds, 5 ounces right behind him. David Truax with 7 pounds. More fishing to come, though. We'll be back here on Lake Hamilton for more of the All-American. All-American on Lake Hamilton, Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. There's your leader, Jeff Coble, trying to defend his championship from last year, headed to another brush pile. He's got 5 or 6, and he's fishing in this single area right there. Now here's Roger Fitzpatrick, who has found himself a new location.
And to hit back on Jeff Coble just a minute, how hard is it to win 2 of these in a row? That's amazing.
Almost unthinkable.
Hey, we've got to get Fitzpatrick to put some fish in the boat, and he's working on it.
Get in there, girl. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. One more bite like that and I got a chance. Same exact spot as yesterday. Wow. How about another one? Boy, that's a good treetop. Boys, there is another one. 2 of them. Oh! Oh, it's a 4 pounder. Oh, there she is. Did you see that? I'm gonna blow this tournament right here, man. That wasn't begging too. There's 2 of them in there, over 3 pounds. Both of them bit it and didn't get it. Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm amazed really at how many opportunities Roger keeps getting. They're gonna run out here in a little bit. He better take advantage of them.
Hey, Rodney, do you get your mail in Hot Springs now? I couldn't believe it when you told me how much time you spent practicing down here.
This second.
Okay.
This net, I just boated one.
All right.
Great.
Okay, now what now?
Well, I'll let you get that all fixed up. I was
Maybe you
just
ought to
asking
call
if
me
you-
every
if
20
this is-
minutes.
20 minutes.
Every 20 minutes. As soon as you call me, I caught a fish.
All right.
All right, that's
Well,
good.
Your problem so far then, Rodney, is we haven't called you enough today.
That's right. You need to call me more often.
Well, we'll think about that. Yeah, we were just talking. We were really surprised when you told us how much time you spent down here practicing on Lake Hamilton. Did you tell me 3 weeks?
Yeah, I spent 3 weeks.
My goodness, is that too much time to spend practicing on a lake, or is that about right for the kind of fishing you do?
I think it was just right because I learned, I know the deep water real well on this lake, and I know the shallow water areas real well, and I think a guy needs both, but today it don't seem to be paying off so far.
Rodney, what's wrong with our brush pile out there today?
I've only got 2 off of it. I just caught the second one off of it. It's slacking off on me. I don't know what's going on with it.
Have you seen some more fish in there, or?
No.
Gosh, you know they've got to still be there.
Yeah, just like my spinnerbait fish over on them that weed bed, the fish are still there. I just came off that one and seen a 3-pounder, but I haven't figured out how to get them to bite yet. I put the spinnerbait down and started flipping the weeds, and that didn't do no good. And so I don't know what to do.
Rodney, I know you told us you have a great job that you are really thankful for, but I'm sure you dream sometimes. I know at work, I'm sure you think about how great it would be to be fishing full time.
Oh, I give anything to fish full time.
Yeah.
It's always been my dream to fish full time, but it's tough when you got a family and need to have the money to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, good luck. I know a win here would go a long way toward getting you closer to that dream.
Right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Go back over to David Truax, pretty much neck and neck now with Jeff Coble in the lead in this All-American Championship.
And I think our viewers, every chance they get, should take a good look at the angle of these guys' rod.
There he is.
Both this fisherman and Jeff Coble keep their rod tips pretty low. It's almost their line is going directly from their reel to the lure. I think they can feel a little bit better, and they're in a much better position to set the hook when a fish does.
Look at that.
I personally think that a lot of fishermen keep their rod tip too high when they're fishing the French. And gosh, you know, I've been watching these guys right here in North Carolina do it for several years now. And they all have that rod tip down low.
What is that? That looks like a walleye or something. Must be because it feels like a dish rag, yep. Well, my day is complete. I've caught my walleye.
You're watching the All-American this week on the Walmart FLW Tour. This famous tournament is on Lake Hamilton, Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. With Roger Fitzpatrick in the background there. He's doing his best to catch Jeff Coble. David Truax, he's behind him about 1.5 pounds, but he certainly had his chances today.
Boy, he sure has. And
I don't know. I think
the
that
quality
might help.
of the fish on this lake really doesn't allow
she was
anybody
shallow.
to run off and leave anyone else. However, you do have to catch a limit, or you can just pack it in. You really need a limit of fish. But, you know, a guy catch a 4-pounder, he'd probably walk away with it. I know these guys keep saying, boy, that was a 4-pounder I had on my. I kind of doubt that, Tommy. Most of them are from 2.5 to 3.5 when they're really good ones. But consistent fish are 1.5 to 2, 2.25.
This guy needs a couple of 4-pounders right here. Rodney Hardwick's having a tough day, and boy, you're asking for it when you fish brush piles as thick as this.
Yeah, and you know what you do? You throw in there and you think, well, if I get one, then I'll figure out how I get him out. But I guess we're going to get a chance to figure that out.
Looks like he's getting in that predicament right now.
And boy, something that everyone needs to understand, that these fishermen have to keep contact with the boat.
Oh, I'm in trouble. I got him right there. Right there he is. I still got him. I can't get out of my boat, can I? Oh man, right there he is. Two of them fighting over it. Right there he is, I got him. Maybe I can give him some slack. There he is. Come on out of there. There. Come on out there. Come on out there. Come on out there now. Oh, what to do now? Come on, fish, that's a good one. Come on. Work your way out there. Oh no. Whew, that's a good fish. Okay, give him some slack. Come on, buddy. Work your way out there. Oh, he's totally wrapped. Totally wrapped. See what to do. Please, Lord, give me this fish. Come on. I got him right there. This fish is gonna be on ESPN if I can get him in. He's right there. I mean, he's wrapped me up. I had two of them fighting. But there he is, bud. Wow. Yeah, he's right there. Yeah, I had two of them fighting over it. That's all right, as long as he can get my live well. Man, oh man, I'd give anything to get out of this boat. I'd get that fish. I don't know if I can have any help. What? Oh, please, please, get out of that brush. Please. I'll get him alive.
Well, obviously, Rodney's going to leave that rod there. He is allowed to do that. I guess we'll come back and see if he's able to get that fish out of there when we return to the All-American. Don't go away.
My St. Croix stick.
Welcome back. Believe it or not, we have a fishing tournament going on here. Pretty important one, as a matter of fact. The All-American. We're on Lake Hamilton, Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. That's Rodney Hardwick, Connorsville, Indiana. Now, Rodney has hooked a fish, if you recall, before we left you. Got hung up in a brush pile over a walkway to this boat dock here, and Rodney could not get to the fish to get him untangled from the predicament there. He has tied up his fishing rod on the other side. He's allowed to leave the fishing rod there. He just can't leave the boat, and what he's trying to do now is get all the way back around the other side of it. It's good stuff.
I know, this is pretty smart. You know, I don't know if I would have thought to do that, but he like abandoned his rod and with the fish on the end of it, just threw it down, and then, like you said, went around here, and he's going to try to catch it with his hand.
I don't know if he meant to abandon his net, too, but that's also sitting on the dock back there. We'll see if he can work it out. Yes. Maybe.
I got him.
He's got him.
He's got him. That, Tommy, in all the time we've done this,
I'll take him.
that was the very end, wasn't it?
That is it.
I got him. Whoa. Man. It's worth something. Oh, man. I had 2 of them fighting over it. Whew. Thank you, sir. Ain't a bad fish. I'll take him. There's 3. 2 more, I got my limit. Oh. Sometimes it's calling me. Okay, we're gonna go to my secret rock. The only rock I know about in the lake. I'm 4 for 4 on this rock, and I even caught one behind David Wright. So we're gonna see how lucky I am today.
We're all even today. If they're cheap enough. Here we come, coming in this side. Move, move, move. What a deal, huh? Now I got to call.
Well, since he's culling, David Truex hanging in there, staying in touch with our leader, Jeff Coble. Meanwhile, Rodney Hardwick has moved to a little more accessible brush pile. This is the first one that you guys went to this morning.
And boy, a lot of strange things happening today. We heard Jeff Coble singing a minute ago. That was a first. His adventure into the brush pile was something, and you know what? I believe Coble's still got something up his sleeve, something he's been telling us about for a couple of days now.
4 bites, 4 times I fished it. There he is. Oh, he's a pretty good one. Get your foot out of there. 5 for 5. I told you I'd like to know where 10 places was like that in the lake. Now we're gonna have to have a culling session, because I don't know exactly which one.
Today, Jeff Coble culling David Truex. We saw him culling on his limit just a moment ago. We're going down to the wire with this one. The All-American is about to be decided. Can he repeat Jeff Coble back-to-back All-Americans? Walmart FLW Tour has been brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By ShopBack, the only thing more powerful is our name. By Walmart, always low prices, always. And by Weed Eater, yards ahead, season after season. Get you to sit up front there, Rodney. All right, David Truex coming up next and needs 2 pounds, 1 ounce. David Truex, who has weighed in 3 fish so far.
I think he's got enough to go to the lead here.
Yeah, he may be here for a while.
This will definitely put him in the lead.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, very nice. Real nice.
2 fish there, Tommy. 4 pounds, 4 ounces.
David
4-4.
Truex, great job, David Truex. David is our leader. 8 pounds, 9 ounces, within about 4 ounces of what his weight has been all week long, but he's weighed in a limit of fish, so that's something to keep in mind there, Charlie. Around to Jeff Coble now, who needs 3 pounds and 3 ounces.
If he has 3-3, he's in the lead and David is out. David, you know what that feels like being on the bubble, don't you?
He was on it a while yesterday.
Jeff Coble
needs 3-3.
3 pounds, 3 ounces to take the lead. That one there, 2-1. And I believe he's got it.
Ooh, man.
2 fish for Jeff Coble. 4 pounds, 10 ounces, a new leader.
4-10. Jeff Coble. That means that David may be out, but he ain't done yet. Come on, let's give a big hand for David Truax. He had a limit. Now he's been eliminated by Jeff there. Bring him out. What a week. What a week. Man. Do you think you were going to get this far when you started in the process of WBFL way back at the start of the season?
No, but I wanted to, and I worked hard and I fished hard. I fished pretty good today, really. I just didn't get the big bites like he did, so I was needing that 3-pounder and didn't get him today. So
it was a lot more fun out there fishing today than it was sitting on the bubble here yesterday, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Talk about how you've been fishing all week, David.
I've been throwing a FLW crankbait almost exclusively. I've tried a few other baits here and there. I threw a worm 2 times today, just for the heck of it, I guess. But it's a shad color. I did take some Walmart paint and put an orange belly on it, and it seemed to make a difference. I caught a perch with it today, and they were identical. So,
David, I tell you what, congratulations, great week. The Little League team had to suffer this year, but you got some good results, didn't you?
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, great job. David, we'll get you to sit up there, and man, we are down to it. Could be standing on the verge of history right now. No one has ever won back-to-back All-Americans, no one. But Jeff Coble is as close as any man has ever been right now. He's our leader, 10 pounds, 1 ounce. He's weighed in a limit. But Roger Fitzpatrick sits here. Possibly one more fish in his live well. Jeff, come on up here. We get everybody up, get everybody real close. And we're going to see if Roger can come up with 2 pounds, 13 ounces, 3 pounds, 13 ounces in order to overtake Jeff Coble, win this tournament. Here we go. Going to have to be a good one. But we've seen some good ones this week. 7 pounds plus, almost 8 pounds brought in by our co-angler champ on day 1 of the tournament. Let's bring it on up. Looking for 313. What's it going to be? Roger Fitzpatrick, Jeff Coble.
Not going to be enough. Beautiful fish here. 1 fish, it's alive. 2 pounds, 3 ounces.
So Jeff Coble is our champion, the $100,000 winner of the All-American. What a guy. Tell you what. Now this is something you said last year. You said it's harder to qualify for this tournament than it is to win it. Now is it harder to qualify than to win it 2 times in a row?
Well, I'd have to say that might be a little more difficult, but if you got the right situation and everything kind of goes well, you got a chance to do that. And like I said earlier when we talked, you know, a lot of people probably would have a chance to win 2 back-to-back, but a lot of people, after they win, will move up to the next level. Well, I've kind of won in reverse. I won an FLW, and then I won an EverStart, and then I won an All-American. So I've kind of backed down through the system. And David Wright now, he's a school teacher, and I'm a boat salesman. So, you know, we have jobs, and this is more, you know, kind of our style of fishing. It was very fortunate to hit a lake like this, though I'll have to agree, that doesn't have a lot of natural cover in it right after the fish come off the beds, and that you're looking at our, you know, we're probably as good as probably any 5 in the country that with this style of fishing, and it just worked out. It was great.
Of all the Fuji flashbacks we've ever done, this one was the easiest one to pick out. Go get him, Rodney Hardwick.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
Congratulations from all of the sponsors and from Walmart associates all over the country. $100,000.